Hello and welcome to On the Sofa with Simi, the brains behind Bellissimi Beauty. This is a safe space where I will be sharing and discussing all things related to marriage, motherhood, makeup and everything in between for women in their 20s, 30s and 40s. So, if you don't already know me, I'm your host Simi. I have over 10 years of experience in the beauty industry, specifically in makeup, aesthetics and microblading. Over the past decade, I've gone from travelling the world doing makeup and basically living the dream, to almost giving up during the pandemic, to then becoming a wife and a mum in my early 30s. I'm here to share all the knowledge, tips and tricks I've learned along the way, just like the best friend you never knew you needed. So grab a cuppa, get cosy and let's sit on this sofa and have a chat. And with that, let's dive right into this week's episode. In this week's episode, we'll be discussing topics related to mental health, including personal experiences, struggles, and emotional challenges. So, as a preface, some of the content may be triggering or uncomfortable for listeners, especially those who have experienced mental health issues firsthand. I aim to create a safe space, but if you feel overwhelmed at any point, please feel free to pause, skip, or come back when you're ready. Your well-being is important, so listen at your own pace, and most importantly, take care of yourself. Right, this is going to be a bit emosh, I'll tell you all now. We're going to talk about the effects of makeup and specifically on motherhood and especially me, I guess, in being a makeup artist. So let's kind of dive right into the psychological impact of wearing makeup and feeling put together, in commas, let's say. I'm no psychologist, but let's be honest, wearing makeup can boost our self-esteem. It can help us feel like we're put together, and that can affect us emotionally, especially as mothers. It's amazing how just applying a bit of makeup can change how we perceive ourselves and the world around us. That self-perception shift can make us feel more in control of our day. Having a little bit of control as a new mum, or as a mum of a toddler, or as a mum of any child of any age, can just give you that little boost that you need. I think makeup as well is a form of self-expression. It's not just about the beauty side and vanity side. It allows us to reflect our mood, our identity, in brackets, whatever that is, and even cultural significance. I know for me, makeup was more than a job. It was literally a reflection of who I was. But obviously, becoming a mother changes everything. The routines I once had, like putting on the makeup, literally fell apart by the wayside. I used to absolutely love makeup. It was part of my identity as a makeup artist. Maybe I didn't wear it all the time, but I knew when I did it, I looked pretty damn good. Nowadays, I barely have time to do a full set of makeup, time to brush my teeth, even brush my hair. I'm only put together today to do this episode. So to be honest, at one point, I really started feeling like a fraud. How can I help others feel beautiful when I didn't even feel beautiful myself? The imposter syndrome was real. I told you it was going to be a bit heavy today. So let's talk about makeup in a different light, I guess, to try and really wrap our heads around it. For many of us, it's not just about looking good, like I said earlier. It's not about vanity. It's not for anyone else. It's a tool of empowerment first and foremost. And then when we feel put together, we feel more confident. It gives us a sense of control. And like I said, that is so crucial during the chaotic days of motherhood. If we have that 1 ounce of control, even though your child might be having a meltdown next to you because you didn't give them the 7th snack of the morning and it's only 9:30, #myson, then why not? But makeup can also feel like a mask. And for a long time, I did use it to hide my insecurities and to conform what society thought I should look like post-birth. It even put me off going to baby groups with my son because I didn't have the time, the energy, the mental space to put on makeup, let alone dress up and then be there and act like everything was okay. I was literally falling apart, and he's going to be 2 next month. And only now do I feel like I have the mental space to potentially get ready, even go out. Like, even putting makeup on for this episode was a bit of a chore. And if you saw my live that I did of actually getting ready, you saw how exhausting that was. And it definitely wasn't 10 minutes. And there were a few meltdowns on the way, but there are a few funny scenes, so I'd go check that out if I was you. But as a makeup artist, as a career in makeup and beauty, obviously after having Taryn, I stopped wearing makeup. And then I realised how much my confidence was tied into my appearance. And to be honest, when I wasn't wearing it, or when I was looking at the other mums at the playgroups, or even now sometimes when I go drop him off and he's at full-time nursery, I'm not going to lie to you, I sometimes feel a bit less than. So for me, I think that was one of the turning points where I had to redefine what beauty meant to me. You know, bellissimi beauty, obviously the name comes from Italian, bellissimo, bellissima. I stuck an I on the end and it means simi, but it also kind of in Italian has its own meaning where it means everything is beautiful. But what was the simi? What was the simi in bellissimi? So it couldn't just be about what was in the mirror anymore. It had to be deeper than that, and that's something that I have been on a really long journey with, and I'm still kind of going through the motions, and hopefully you'll be there with me along the way. I guess slowly, you know, like I say, coming up 2 years next month, I started reintroducing beauty into my life, but it was with a totally different mindset. It wasn't about looking perfect anymore, and then what that perfection meant to someone else, another mum, someone at the supermarket watching me while Tarrant's having a meltdown, in his pushchair. He's not that bad, by the way. I'm just making examples. It wasn't about looking perfect anymore. It was about the taking time for myself, even if it was just 5 minutes in the morning. I kind of really started to rediscover beauty, let's say, and with beauty, I'm talking about skincare too, not just makeup. I guess, and this is where a trigger warning comes in to do with child loss. It is a very tough subject. I have been quite open about it because I am doing a charity walk this month for SANS, but we lost our second son in March, and I'm welling up a bit here. Anyway, we lost our second son, and obviously Taryn's still a toddler. He was 18 months maybe then. You know, he was going through his own challenges. We were going through our own challenges as parents, as partners, etc. And then adding on something as tragic as that, it really shook us to our core. But it shook me to my core, and the only kind of semblance of normality I guess I got was through doing skincare. And it wasn't just the skincare, the applying it, the routine of it, but researching it. I really, really loved it. Diving into K-beauty, diving into ingredients and what they mean, and not just kind of, ooh, let me offer this as a treatment in my salon and start doing facials. Nothing like that. It was that taking care of myself and that research and sitting on my laptop or my phone on a night and looking into it. That was a form of therapy for me too. So kind of getting into my skincare, and don't get me wrong, it's not a 20-step skincare routine anymore. I do miss that. It's just what works, how it works, and how quickly it works, and that's what I'm all about. And that's generally what my beauty routine is about these days too. I guess on top of that, when you start applying the level of makeup, the best tip I've got, and you've probably heard this a million times, is multi-use products. If anyone is interested in what I would use or recommend, then please drop me a message on Instagram and I'll be happy to send my recommendations over. But a multi-use product, for example, a tinted moisturiser that doubles up as an SPF, a cream blush that you can use as a lipstick, or a bit of mascara, stick that on, use your brows, use it as a bit of brow gel too. That's it, your 5-minute routine and you're done. And that 5 minutes is for you. I guess that moves us on to who you are now as a mum and what that means for me as well. Your new identity, you're not just the individual, I'm not just Simi. I'm always going to have mum in front of my name. It's quite profound when you think about it. Obviously, touch wood, this never happens, but say me and my husband ever broke up, I may no longer be a wife, but I will always, always be a mum. There's nothing that's ever going to change that. And that for me really means looking into who I am first before I can be that mum. Along with kind of embracing this new identity as a mum, this role that you're going to be forever. Even when your child is 50, 60 years old, you're always going to be mum. And that's so beautiful, but who are you in that? And that's something that I really struggled with because I spent a long time trying to do the things that I did before being a mum, and not just mentally, I guess physically. I had to have, again, trigger warning here, I had to have a category 1 C-section with Taran, and he had to be revived, and it was a really, really long recovery for both of us. So even physically, I used to love going to the gym, love working out, things like that. I physically can't do that anymore. And when I went to the gym, just started about a week or two ago, I was shocked at how weak I almost was. And I get, okay, weak is the wrong word because, my body has gone through a lot. But I was trying to do the things I did prior to Taryn being born, or lift the same, weight literally, or, run as well, let's not lie, I don't run, but maybe do as much cardio as I was doing before. And I just physically couldn't. And maybe 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, that would have really, really upset me. But I'm actually starting to embrace that I am different. I am different to who I was. I'm still Simmy, I guess. And I haven't done a 180 degrees. I guess we're on about a 45-degree tangent. We're still going in the same direction, but just slightly we're veering off a bit to the left. And that's okay. And that's what I've accepted, that I'm never going to be that Simmy exactly. But who I am now, I'm going to be okay with it. And this journey is going to help me be okay with it. And hopefully, if this makes any sense to you, that it's okay for you too. We don't have to go back to who we were before. Why did we think that? Whoever said that? Like, where did this rule come from that, oh, I can't wait till, 6 months postpartum and I'm going to be a size zero, 3 weeks after my kid's born? Where the hell did that come from? I don't ever remember any other kind of life or any other culture maybe that where that's normal. Is it just a new thing that's out in the world? I don't remember it with my mum, my grandma. It says it takes a village to raise a child. Now, there's so many single women out there. Hats off to you, by the way. Like, wow. Why are they expected to also be able to juggle all these roles too when they're on their own? Like, why can't we just be okay with kind of accepting that we're going through a really difficult time? Who put this pressure on us? Did we do it on ourselves? And then you go down this route of mum guilt. Like, mum guilt is a whole real thing, and maybe that's something I could do an episode on in the future. But the mum guilt of, oh my God, I don't want to put together what a Taryn's school friend mum's going to think. When I go to the gates to drop him off, they're going to think, oh my God, she's looking a bit rough and she's meant to be a makeup artist. Yeah, nice one. Or the mum guilt of taking that time for ourselves. This is where it's so conflicting. Taking that 5 minutes to do your skincare, taking that 10 minutes to do a live on Facebook where you have a meltdown, that was me earlier, to do my makeup. Taryn was with his dad, which is fine, but why do I have that guilt that I'm not with him 24/7? And I'm sure there are so many of you who feel the same. So how do you balance that? I need to take time to be the best version of me, aka to then be the best version as a mother, but I also feel too guilty to take that time to do that. So you're kind of in this, circle that's just constantly going on, and there doesn't seem to be an end or a beginning. So I'm here to say, break that cycle. It's okay to take that time for yourself because you cannot pour from an empty cup, and that is something I learned the hard way over these last 2 years. And you know what? I think mum guilt is always going to be a part of us. Of a pop, go and have a coffee with my friend. Oh my God, what's Taryn doing? Is he okay? My brain's like, I'm looking at my friend, but my brain's like flashing a million different worst case scenarios in the back of my mind. Again, please send me a message if you can relate, because otherwise I definitely need some sort of help if that's just me. Awkward. Anyway, like I say, I can go off on a tangent because this is a bit of a deep topic and I'm not going to cover it all in one episode. But the most important thing was learning to love me as a mum, because there's no rule book, and yes, cliched, but not just about how you are as a mother, but who you are. Like, how do you love this new version that you've never been before, and you never will go back to who you are? And that's, like I said, that's okay. So let's embrace it, and let's have an open conversation about it, because it's not talked about enough. It's, yeah, cool, you take 6 months off work, 1 year maternity, boom, you're back to work, doing the same job that you did before, when your brain is totally scrambled, let's say. And that's not in a bad way. I'm not saying you're not capable of doing your job, but, suddenly, say, for example, you're doing a high-pressure job in a city centre, corporate world, it's very, boom, boom, boom. I don't think as a mum, and this is just my personal experience, if you can do that, amazing. I'm not trying to tarnish anyone with the same brush here. I don't think my brain can handle that, because I'm sat there worrying if my son has had anything to eat, if he stopped having a meltdown because I took a paintbrush out of his hand when he went to bed, or because I won't let him sleep with my face powder that he broke. Again, another story for another day. But my brain isn't there anymore. My brain is always with my child, and how do I stop that in a good way? Do you know? I'm not saying, oh yeah, I want to ignore him now, but how do I kind of bring that focus back to me, the everyday, be present in what I'm doing, what I want, and what I feel like, not just what a mum should do, what a mum should feel like. etc. Heesh. Let's move on a bit from that before this episode becomes 3 hours long. So like I said, makeup is a tool, skincare is a tool, beauty is a tool, but it is not the source of our confidence. And I'm going to say it louder for you girls at the back. It is not the source of our confidence. It's time to learn that our value isn't tied to how put together we look, or how much we have our shit together, or how many playgroups we go to, or how well our child behaves, let's say, because, deep down, my son, he's feral at home, and I love it. I love it when we go places and he looks like he's dead well behaved. I'm like, oh my God, the better he's behaved here in public, the more I'm going to end up with bruises. So that's fine. It is what it is. But anyway, let's go back to it. Some days I'll put on a full face of makeup, like today, to do a video. And other days I just won't wear a thing. But both are okay, because that doesn't define me as a mum. It doesn't define me as an individual. So to all the mums out there, whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, I just want you to know the journey of rediscovering yourself, it is just that. It is a journey. There's twists and turns, there's roundabouts, there's U-turns, there's one ways, there's wrong ways. And you know what? That's absolutely okay. I'm here with you, girl. Let's do it together. At the end of the day, beauty, self-worth and motherhood, they will all intersect, and they will all cross over, and there'll be, like I say, there'll be U-turns along them. One day you might feel rubbish, but you feel like you've bossed it as a mum, or you feel like a rubbish mum, but you look absolutely banging. Doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter, because these are all going to intersect all throughout the rest of our lives, but in a really beautiful way. And I think that's the most important thing. People think motherhood is this. It is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it's put together in you. Oh, by 6 months, my child will be eating solids. Oh, by 11 months, he'll be waving. By 1 year, he'll be walking. It doesn't work like that, or it didn't work like that for me. And it's taken me to now to appreciate that and accept that. So motherhood is messy. Motherhood is very complex, but in its own right, it is beautiful, if that makes sense. So let's just enjoy the beauty of that and the moment, instead of worrying about the what ifs and what it means, and just enjoy it. That's all I can really say, and that's what I'm trying to do, if that didn't make sense, if I didn't say that enough for you to hear. So if you're feeling disconnected from who you were as an individual, as a girl, know that you're not alone. Honestly, I feel you. Just start taking small steps. Like I say, a 5-minute routine. Go grab your coffee, in the morning after you've dropped your kid off. There's not much you can do. That laundry can wait. You might be 5 minutes late to your Zoom meeting at work. So what? Just say there was traffic. Just take that 5 minutes for you, because when else do you get it? This is the rest of your life. You're a mum for the rest of your life. Remember that. And I don't mean that to scare you, but it's the truth. And it's a beautiful truth. I've said beautiful far too many times, but you get what I'm saying. So that 5 minutes for you, it's not the end of the world, and it's going to make you feel better. And if you feel better, you've won. That is the most important thing, because no matter how much we want to look good, that's superficial. It's about how you feel, and if you can make yourself feel good, then hats off to you, hon. Right. Whew. Like I said, I don't know whether I need another coffee after that or a drink. But most importantly, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for listening. I really hope this episode gave you some comfort and inspiration, or just even a little reminder that it's okay to take care of yourself, and you're not alone. You're really not alone. If you enjoyed the episode, please even share it with a friend who may not have heard about me or what I do, who may be kind of struggling with a bit of identity after being a mum. I'm no expert. I'm literally just sharing my journey, and by next week it might have changed again, but I'm all right with that. And remember, look, who you were, you're still in there. You're still beautiful. You're still shining, girl. You're still absolutely authentic, whether you wear makeup or not. And the most important thing is, you're a fantastic mum, and no one else could do the job that you do. That child came to you. I'm a big believer in that. I think it may be a Chinese belief, that the children choose their parents when they're up there. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. They could have chosen anyone, but they chose you. So you are doing an absolutely fantastic job. And you're their entire world. Think about that. They see you, you're their comfort, you're their love, you're their happiness. They can be a pain in the backside, don't get me wrong, especially when you're trying to go to the toilet and they're a literal shadow. But it's absolutely mind-boggling to think that this little person is with you for the rest of the life, and I just love that. I really, really love that. Anyway, I'm digressing again. So, until next time, obviously take care of yourself, stay beautiful, because you already are, and remember, you are worth every bit of self-love, self-care, time out that you give yourself. So keep doing it, and remember, you are the best mum that you could be. So, as always, thank you so, so much for joining me on my sofa. I really, really enjoyed this chat. Leave me some comments, messages, if this was something that you resonated with, or if you thought I'm talking a load of crap. I'll take it. I'm all up for positive criticism, but no, constructive criticism. I'd like some positive feedback, but this might not be for everyone, and that's okay. Have you noticed that's my theme? That I'm okay with who I am. Not perfect, and I'd never want to be. I just want to be the best mum I can be. So thank you again for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.